Thanks a lot for staying with us. Let's check out the top stories on Nigerian newspapers now. We've got a host of them. And first off right now is the Vanguard newspaper. The lead caption is titled Worsening Insecurity, with kidnappers abducting pupils, teachers demanding at least 30 million. Some other headlines, as we will see, we'll talk about the ransom going for as high as 100 million. But Vanguard is reporting that the ransom demand has been put at 30 million naira. There's some riders there, regarding the insecurity. Police arrest 5 kidnapped suspects. Tinubu orders immediate rescue of the students and the monarchs, as well as killers of monarchs arrested. This particular case of the abduction of the pupils and teachers occurred in Ondo State, right? In Ekiti State, I should say. We must ensure Nigerians sleep with 2 eyes closed. The Senate President, as we saw earlier, Godswill Akpabio is saying, we are deeply troubled. Speaker Tajuddin Abbas cries out to the President and reps to convene Security Summit, tasks the President on security architecture. State police will tackle insecurity challenges. That's according to Oyo State Governor Makinde. Other stories on the front page of the Vanguard is 4.6 billion naira. Office of the National Security Advisor Fund shared to organize prayers against insecurity. That's according to an EFCC witness at an ongoing trial. AU expresses regret as Mali, Burkina Faso, Niger sent formal withdrawal notice to ECOWAS. Ayo Adebanjo Oba Olaiton remain our leaders, says Afenifere. Over now to the Nation newspapers. Killing of monarchs, abduction of pupils in Ekiti State draw outrage as abductors demand 100 million naira. President directs rescue of pupils as well as arrest of gunmen. The governor, in the eye of the storm, Oyebanji says to not despair. Ekiti government, Southwest PDP clash. Olubadan, YLT, as well as Speaker protest. Now, Tinubu orders timely end to minimum wage talks. Atiku playing cheap politics on national issues as presidency and former vice presidents clash. 1.5 million persons in Benue IDP camps. Governor Hyacinth Alia laments. These and other stories are on the front page of the Nation newspaper. Now, before us is the Punch newspaper. The lead story there is captioned, Kidnapping Epidemic. Abductors demand 100 million for Ekiti school children and their teachers. Police, NSCDC, Amotekun, OPC hunters from Joint Task Force arrest 5 suspects. Other stories there, NNPCL woos South Korean investors for gas projects. 300 stranded Europe-bound Nigerians returned from Libya. Fashion remains a Afenifere leader, not Adebanjo. That's another controversy in the, will I call it, crisis rocking the Pan-Yoruba cultural group. In Ogun State, 2 police inspectors corporal dismissed for robbery, and Governor Adeleke imposes curfew as 2 die in communal clash. On the Naira, the main currency plunges in official market. CBN warns forex dealers. Next to check out is First News, and the top stories, of course, begin with the paramount issue in the land as we speak. Worsening insecurity still remains the caption, and this development worries National Assembly presidency. There are so many riders to this effect. In the meantime, presidency lashes Atiku for deploying cheap politics. And Chetuma inaugurates minimum wage committee. Why we established Amotekun in Southwest, says Oyo Governor Makinde. CBN clears airline forex backlog with additional $64.44 million payment, and so many other stories there. Next is Blueprint newspaper. Be tough on decisions over insecurity, Abbas tells Tinubu. Senate summons service chiefs again, meets president next week. Troops rescue 20 kidnapped victims, killed 2 bandits in Zamfara State. Reps pro plateau killing 6 civilian JTF. Atiku still nursing hangover of electoral defeats, says the president. In the meantime, he also has a word for them that Atiku president must brace up to security challenges. And other stories, the construction industry may expand by 2.8% this year. This is contained in a report. In sports, Mali stopped Burkina Faso African Dreams zoom to quarterfinals, and a former governor of Kogi State is quoted as saying, "I'm not eyeing APC national chair." That, all these and more on Blueprint. Let's check out what Theo has.
All right, we'll start with the Guardian in my end. Here it says 7 states on Niger borderline, bandits, smugglers reign, and sanctions hardship grounds communities. CBN cautions FX dealers against market manipulation as Naira slides to 1,500. Police officers murder suspects, cultists, others nabbed over crimes in Ogun State. Workers demand living wage as federal government unveils negotiation committee. Nigeria ranks 145 on Graft Index, scores 25 out of 100 points. Tuition fees hike imminent as private schools spend fortune on security. Again, settlement service chiefs over insecurity. Sign executive order on unexplained wealth and Dume tells Tinubu. That's in the Guardian newspaper this morning. We move down to this Nigeria. 30,000 small arms, light weapons, and ammunition recovered in 23 years. Proliferation of firearms, major catalyst for insecurity, says Coordinator Weapons Control Center. Adopt new strategy. Reps talks president, Senate summons security chiefs to appear next week. Nigeria moves up in corruption index. PDP declares 10 aspirants for Edo governorship primaries. Killers of Ekiti monarchs won't escape justice, says Tinubu. Tinubu inaugurates 37-member tripartite committee on national minimum wage. Nigerians passing through pains. NLC TUC wants federal government to act. That's in this Nigeria this morning. We move down to Leadership newspaper. Pressure mount on service chiefs over rising insecurity. Committee asked to give Nigerian workers living wage. CBN class foreign airlines pays $136.73 million. Stock market ends 13-day gain, loses 856 billion naira. Rerun election court dismisses sacks lawmakers suit against INEC. Wiki approves 30.9 billion naira for FCT schools rehabilitation. That's in Leadership newspaper this morning. Let's move now to Daily Trust. 20 years after, 26 states failed to implement new pension scheme. Federal government, private sector employees benefiting. Experts urge governors to enroll workers. Pension fund assets hit 17 trillion naira. That's in the Daily Trust this morning. Tinubu talks minimum wage committee to dialogue in good faith. IMF downgrades Nigeria's economic growth to 3%. Wiki approves 30.9 billion naira for rehabilitation of schools. That's in Daily Trust this morning. We move to Daily Independent. It says foreign airlines for TBN says $650 million trap funds unpaid. Insecurity, Tinubu playing fiddle while Nigerian drowns. Atiku Lament says if shoes are too big for him, he should step aside. That's in the Daily Independent this morning. Quickly move down to Business Nigeria. It says as Naira continues free fall, CBN offers promises. Experts proffer ways to tackle FX backlog. Nigeria sinks to 1,482.57 to a dollar on official markets. That's in Business Day this morning. Let's move to Salient Times. IMF downgrades Nigeria's economic growth from 3.1% to 3% in 2024. Nigerians battle for survival as Naira continues free fall. 37-year-old man commits suicide in Kano over his ex-wife remarriage. And Ogo Assembly swears in Elemide as new speaker, affirms Oluomo's impeachment. And court remands man for allegedly raping colleague to death in Ondo State. That's in Salient Times this morning. Business Times says here, IMF downgrades Nigeria's economic growth, pegs 2024 inflation rate at 23%. Says global economy picking up softly, but risks remain. How to ease rising external debt service pressures in low-income countries. Nigeria outside banking system increases by 94% to 3.4 trillion naira. Tinubu inaugurates national minimum wage committee. That's in Business Times this morning. And finally, Nature News. Nigeria takes steps to activate carbon market. Federal government targets huge carbon credit by 2020, says Environment Minister. Carbon trading will reduce emissions, says NCC CDG. Nigeria, US paved the way for environmental progress. Nigeria received $5 million grant to boost dairy products. South Africa, Egypt beat Nigeria in solar energy reproduction, according to reports. And Nigeria to set up 774 recycling plants across the country. That's in Nature News this morning. Kimmy.
All right. As you must have been following, the papers largely dominated by the state of insecurity, the spate of insecurity in the country. Many parts of the country appear to are reeling from the effect of, the insecurity. Kidnappings, senseless killings are the order of the day. The government, of course, the cases that occurred recently in Ekiti State are, of course, generating reactions all over the country, not just in the southwest. The presidency has also spoken to that effect, saying that the killers of the two monarchs will not go unpunished. Of course, as we speak, helpless children and their teachers are also in the kidnappers' den, returning from school on Tuesday, and a ransom of 100 million naira or thereabout has now